Welcome, everybody, to this week's podcast episode for the Financial Freedom for Physicians podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Liu. And as you know, we talk about 4 pillars of freedom: time, financial, location, and health freedom. And so in that light, the podcast is growing, and I love bringing on entrepreneurs, investors, people out doing outside the box thinking to inspire you and educate you. And so today we have Ricky Blair. He's the founder of Platform 7, The Alternative. And we're going to talk all about mentorship, success, the educational system, personal development, and all about his journey. So Ricky, welcome.
Thank you, Christopher. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Yeah. We connected through Podmatch, and like I said, you're I love interviewing successful people. So tell us more about yourself, your journey, and what you do, and we'll go from there.
Okay, I'll give you a very high-level overview of my story. I'm from the UK, as you may hear from the accent. I grew up in London, and I failed the education system pretty badly, to the point where I had no choice I wasn't able to stay on in higher education, so I left school at 16. Didn't know what I wanted to do, but as cliche as it may sound, what I did know was I wanted to be free. And I think in order to be free, financial freedom is a big part of that, which is why it's quite fitting what your subject matter is about on this podcast today. I went into the world of commercial real estate at the age of 16. I had no desire to go into that. It was the first thing I tried. I started at the bottom of the ladder, as it were, and I think everything changed for me personally when I turned 17. I got a call out of the blue from a man called Nigel, a very, very successful entrepreneur. He was a real estate guy. He is a real estate guy, and he is what I would classify. It's funny because I talk about my journey with Nigel, who is my mentor, a lot, but he is a legend when it comes to achieving passive income. And basically he took me on this journey, and he taught me all the things that I guess school didn't teach me, from basically what it takes to put it bluntly, design whatever life you want and have the success and have the life you want to create yourself. Fast forward, I ended up under his sort of mentorship and guidance. I set up my own real estate business. It was an agency in central London at the age of 23, 24. And a mix of hard work, good fortune, timing, being in the right place at the right time. My business partners and I, we revolutionized the commercial real estate sector in central London. And basically we built this fantastic business. It was a lot of fun. 3-4 years into that business, we basically got approached by the biggest real estate companies in the world, and it got to a stage where we kept getting offers from them to buy the business. The day arrived where, probably about 6 or 7 years ago now, we received an offer for the company, which, to put it bluntly, was too different. You couldn't turn it down. It would have made no sense to turn it down. So we accepted the offer. We sold the business, which I guess, to put it bluntly, was a deal that changed my life. I had to stay on without a business for 4 years. That was part of the agreement. And I really got a little bit bored whilst sort of seeing out that process. But one of the things I started to do was, I guess, with the proceeds from the sale of the company, Nigel, my mentor, he started to, I think Nigel owns something like 250 or 300 pieces of real estate around the world. So I started to invest in real estate. And that was really when I got my first bit of exposure to, I guess, investing, creating passive income. And I guess a sign of real wealth, or a sign of real success, is when you're in a position in life where you do not have to get out of bed and you earn. And that, not that I have no desire to get out of bed, I'm still an ambitious guy that's got some big ambitions and big goals, but that was really the impact Nigel had on me. And now I do have the freedom I always dreamed of as a 16-year-old kid, and I've got the freedom to do what I love and what I'm passionate about, which is really what's taken me on to this next step of my journey, my career, my path.
Yeah, it's a very interesting story. The school system is probably built for maybe 10% of the population, and the rest of us either have to grind it out or struggle or do what you did. So it's quite interesting. So we'll just talk about the educational system. It's a very industrial based model, but how was it for you? Like, what did you learn from it?
How was it for me? I had fun. I enjoyed playing sports, particularly soccer. or football, where I come from, I really struggled to pass an exam. And I think it actually had quite a detrimental effect on me, because I think it works both ways. This is where education can do a little bit of damage, perhaps. We are told, where it's drilled into us as we grow up, as we will work our way through the education system. We're told that if we succeed in education, we're going to succeed in life. And also, if we fail, we're doomed to fail in life. And in my case, the damage it did was, I guess I lacked the self-belief that I would ever amount to much in the real world. So it really knocked my confidence. And also, I didn't think I was, completely stupid, but the education system suggested I was. But I guess I had a burning desire to prove that system wrong. And when I left at 16, I started to learn, I guess, all the things I was so fascinated by success and how to make money and how to run businesses and how to build wealth and income. So I started to study patterns and study successful people. And even to this day, I know you're asking the questions today, but I love to ask questions. So I'd reach out to virtually any successful person I could get in front of, and I'd ask them question after question. I'd fly all around the world to visit seminars to learn about wealth accumulation, and I'd just read people's stories, etc. And I just started to realize that I was finally in the real world learning the real world things we require in order to succeed. So I guess in answer to your question, the education system was a tough time for me. It left me feeling a little bit demoralized and a bit nervous and fearful. And it was only after leaving did I start to learn what I wish I'd been taught growing up, basically.
Let's see here. And then, so what's interesting is what in how the school system sort of beat you down. But what do you wish the school system could, your idealized school system, what can it do to enable students to get better prepared for life?
It's a great question. I would say that the day you leave the education system, whether that be at 16, 20, 24, 34, whatever that is, we just don't seem as human beings like we're being prepared and equipped for the big wide world. So I think that, what are the key, the way I look at it is this. I look at life as like a video game, and that video game starts when you leave the education system. If you're playing a video game, or any game in fact, you kind of know the rules, you know how it works, you're given like the manual or the guidebook. I feel that the education system should be doing that for us. So I've been in America now for the last 2 years, and I have studied not just the education system, but a lot of my clients are young entrepreneurs. And I'm looking at what they want to know, what they want to understand, what they want to be equipped with, etc. Like if the research we've done, it's pretty obvious. The number one thing, there's lots of things that they want to learn about, but the top of the list, the top of the tree, that every young entrepreneur, they wish they learned about money. In fact, we've created curriculums, and what's involved in the curriculums, things like being clear on your strengths and weaknesses, working out what it is you want to do in the big wide world, how to be successful, how to be happy, how to make decisions, what it takes to succeed, how high achievers actually get there. Because I think we lose sight of the fact that the people that you and I may look up to, the highest achievers in the world in any genre, whether it be business, entertainment, philanthropy, whatever, they're all just human beings. They all were just regular people that we kind of put on this pedestal because we didn't see them as regular people. So these are the curriculums we've created. As you mentioned, they're an alternative to the traditional college system. But it's amazing in out of the curriculums we teach, the biggest section by quite some way is the part of the curriculum which is money. Mm-hmm. There's so much to money, and it's a whole topic and section in itself. And it's I'm working with some clients at the moment. They've got a big jewelry company, and there's some exciting plans. I think they're about to go public as a business, and even them, but just going through this money section, it's really been eye-opening. And there's so many aspects. I know you focus on passive income and building wealth, etc. But in my humble opinion, there are 10 steps before that. It's like really understanding the foundations of money before you can get to that piece. And it's just a shame we're not educated in around that topic.
Yeah. I feel like society and like starting from school and from media, they kind of shroud, and there's like this secrecy around money, and then they cloak it in a veil of guilt and shame, and you can't talk about it. It's taboo. They just sit in your chair, and it's kind of weird. It's almost like the society is like designing people to be poor, but it's just like, I'm not sure if it's, but that's just how I view modern society. And then what is the best bit of advice that you ever received that contributed to your success from Nigel or other mentors?
In life or relating to money?
Life and finances and business.
I think in life, there's life, there's business, and there's finances. I'll give you one for each. In life, I would say that very simply, we get to choose what we want our life to be. And I know that may sound a little bit woo-woo or a little bit wacky, but it really is that simple. Most high achievers that achieve wonderful things, they actually made a decision. That's what they wanted. We can choose whatever we want. With regards to business, the biggest influence Nigel had on me is, in business, all you need to do is find your niche, find something different. Even if you're trying to disrupt an existing sector or industry and there's not really much of a way of pioneering or changing, if you can just find out like 1-2% that will tweak it or improve it ever so slightly, that's all you require. And with regards to money, I mean, there are so many aspects to it. I would say saving is obviously a huge thing. I would say investing, and the importance of investing in what you know, sticking to what you know. You see so many people making an obscene amount of money, but you also see them lose it. And there are so many reasons why they may lose it, but I think some of those reasons will relate. The main reason relates to the fact that people venture out to the unknown, to things they're not familiar with. And I think sticking to what you know, or being the master of something, is very important.
Yeah, these are all very priceless, pieces of wisdom. The other question I had, what was really interesting, is what one quality or trait do you feel gave you a competitive edge toward where you are today?
I would say, what would be a competitive edge? I think for me, if you're going to really rate me personally, because I started in business at 16, I always had a real edge, which was time. One of the reasons why I got out into real estate at such a young age was I knew that my contemporaries, or to put it another way, my competition, weren't going to start the race for another 3, 4, 5, 6 years because they were in that education process. So I was always looking to maximize my time, learn, get ahead, because I knew I had that 4, 5 to 6 year edge. And in fact, I didn't just want to retain that edge, I actually wanted to increase it. And that's, even to this day, like wasting time. Your time is the most precious commodity we as human beings own. It's, I think it's probably one of the only things in life you can't really buy.
Exactly.
It's powerful.
Yeah, time is our most precious asset, and then we actually, the school system teaches us to trade our time for money and work for other people, as opposed to creating value, creating jobs, investing money. And so the whole system is really antiquated and backwards, and it's just like, I don't like, that's why we see all the problems we have in society today. So the other question, this, I really enjoy this because we can talk about the educational system,
all day long, Chris. I was okay.
Yeah. And then a lot of people in the audience will resonate with this, and how can people get in touch with you, contact you, visit your website, work with you? How can they do that?
So we run the curriculum. So a lot of my entrepreneur clients run a curriculum which is referred to as Lane 2, which is basically how to push on and get to the next level of your life. That is it's a 2-month program. It covers all the topics we're referring to. That, I think, would appeal to the majority of your audience. And you get to work with and meet with and be part of a program and a curriculum with other like-minded, successful entrepreneurs. The truth is, I think the best entry point to working with me is, I get asked so many questions all day, every day, from my clients, from people on social media, podcasts, especially around money, how to invest, how to succeed, how to make money, etc. I've got this subscription where every month I do 2 slots a month, hour each, where people can literally join on. It's like $75 a month, and they can ask whatever they want, literally. Money, investing, saving, and also not only do you get to, I guess, get some clarity or answers or talk about some of the things you and I discussed in more detail today, but because you're being surrounded by other like-minded entrepreneurs or ambitious people, you get to learn from their questions and their journeys as well, and people sort of keep coming back month after month. So that's probably a great way to initially connect with me and my work. Sure, you can follow me on Instagram, etc. It's platform_7 SEVEN. But yeah, there are various different ways. Or just send me an email, whatever works for your audience.
Yeah, and for all the listeners out there, Ricky's resources will be in the links and show notes. And Ricky, any last minute parting words of advice, wisdom before we call it a day?
Yeah, I will give you one last piece, and on the basis this entire segment and this entire show is all about all things money, I would say to you that just don't let money be the focus of your life. Focus on the impact you want to have, focus on what you're creating. I always say it to young entrepreneurs especially, the money will come, the money will take care of itself. If you are focusing on serving your clients or creating something or making an impact on the world or improving something or offering people value, you don't need to worry about the money. That takes care of itself.
Well said. And with that, it's been a great conversation. I really love talking to cutting edge people, just people that are really just outside of traditional, the whole matrix. And so we look forward to hearing about your future success.
Thank you, Christopher.